All right, we are here with Micaiah. Micaiah, can you wave and say hi?
Hi.
All right, and we are getting ready to do the Bruininks-Ozoretsky test of motor proficiency, Bot 2. So you can see here it comes in a nice kit. We have a examinee booklet. We've got a bunch of different testing items and manipulatives. We have the manual here, which will be helpful when we look at scoring. And we have the administration book here, which gives us specific instructions on what to say. So you say what's in red, color in the circle, and try and stay inside the lines. And then below that, there is nice scoring criteria so you can compare how your child did and you can give them a particular score. So let's open up the book. Okay, and this is the fine motor precision. And so I will give Micaiah the pencil and say, color in the circle and try and stay inside the lines. Ready, begin. Now color in the star and try and stay inside the lines. Ready, begin. Okay, there we go. So I'll try and get a close-up of this here. And then we'll look at the testing manual. And I would say, it's kind of blurry here a little bit. There we go. I would say his scores for both of those would be equitable to 3. Flip the page. And now we are doing mazes. And so Micaiah, go ahead and turn the page. Draw a line on the path from the car to the house. Take your time and try and stay inside the lines. Ready, begin. Can you go let the dogs in, please? Okay. Now draw a line on this path from the car to the house. Take your time and stay inside the lines. Ready, begin. And so you can see here it gives us certain criteria. And so do not allow the examinee to rotate the test page more than 45 degrees while drawing. I would say he was pretty close to that 45 degrees. Let's see here. They may start and restart. The line does not have to be continuously drawn, so you could kind of see he went back a little ways and then went forward again. How we score it, so that's okay. How we score it here is we count how many errors that went outside the lines. And so we'll take a really close look at his here in class, but it tells you exactly the crooked path example. So I would go through and I would circle how many times he went outside of the line. And then you'll also have to measure, and it tells us here, if they're outside of the line for more than a half an inch, they actually get 2 errors for that. And so I don't think he went out of the line too far, but you can kind of see here in the example how they went out of the line here, so they would get 1. This one was more than a 1/2 inch, so they'd get 2 errors. This one was, when they measure it out, they'd get 3 errors. And so again, when we score it, we're looking at the number of errors. So in this example, they'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they would get a score of 8. Okay, Micaiah, let's go ahead and turn the page. Okay, and so take your time and draw straight lines to connect the dots. Keep the pencil on the paper until you connect all the dots. Okay, start here and keep your pencil on the paper. Ready, begin. No, keep the paper straight. There you go. Perfect. And so for scoring this one, you're going to need a transparent template. It's going to be kind of hard to see here. Again, I'll be showing you this and going over this in class, but you can see that you place the template over the drawing, and then you'd also count the number of errors. And so when you're staying inside the lines, or you subtract the number of errors, I'm sorry. So you're inside that middle line on that template, he'd get all 3 points, okay? And so if you go out, of the line, the first line, okay, there's 1, 2, 3 lines there, and so you would just subtract 1 point because he just went to that outer one. If he goes outside of all 3 lines, he would get a 0. Okay, so there's a total possible 3 points for each side, so you could get a total of 12 points. You also subtract any pencil lifts that he may have had, and so he didn't remove his pencil off the paper, so we wouldn't have to deduct any scores there. But again, no credit for this score because they went all the way out. This one, he stayed inside that first line, so he'd get a score of 1. This one is right in the middle, so they get full points of a 3, and this one's just outside of 1. So then you add up all of those, 3, 5, 6, and then they would get a score, an item score of 6. Okay, Micaiah, let's turn the page. Okay, and so this one is folding the corners, and so it says teach the task to the examinee, and then demonstrate folding the corner on the page labeled examiner. So it's giving me a little freedom to say teach the task. And so this one here is the examiner. So Micaiah, I'm going to teach you. I want you to fold right on that crease. Okay, and so you have to, okay, I'm going to fold this one, but you watch how I do it. I line it up, okay, and then I press it down so that I'm folding on that black line. You see that? Okay, now you try it. Fold this corner on the paper on the line.
Okay. I'm going to not allow this.
Good. Now fold the other corners the same way. Okay. Now I want you to fold it on this line right in the middle. Very, very good. And so, again, it walks you through how to score it. You need that clear template again, which you would fold or put the template over the fold, and then you would count how many lines that that crease came out or fell out of. And so you can see here, I'll try and get really close, and there we go. So we can see here, like this example with the red line is where the crease was, and so it did not go outside of that first line, and so they would get all 3 points for that line, for that side. Okay, that's as many as you can get. Here, so if you can get a total of 3, they went outside the lines. Let's see here, they went out 1, 2, past 2 lines, so you would take 3 minus 2 and get a score of 1 here. For the centerfold, they went out completely, so they wouldn't get any credit. And for this example here, they just went outside that first line, and so they would get a score of 2. Okay, so again, you could get a score of 3 for each side. You have to subtract how many they go outside of that template. Okay, the next one is the circle. Okay, and so I tell Micaiah, cut out the circle, take your time, and try to cut on the line. Ready, begin. Awesome, good job. So for scoring this one, again, we have the little circle here. It helps to put it on the color contrasting page or mark. Sometimes I get a piece of tape and I tape it down. And then again, you put this transparency piece right over the top. Okay, and so then we can see each section of the circle is divided up into 4 sections, and again we have those lines. Oopsies. So I'm going to just show you the example here. So they can get a total of 3 for each segment. Okay, and so again you're looking at how much they go out to those lines, and so this example they stayed within that first mark. This one they went out one of those lines, so they'd get a 2. This one they stayed within that first range, so they got all 3. And this one they went all the way out, and so they'd get a 1. Okay, and so again you can add up the different sections to get their total score. Okay, and that is it for the for this particular subtask for fine motor integration. Thank you, Micaiah.
What's this one? Test.